mean, obviously Chelsea signed a lot of Scottish players back in the day because Ian McNeill was Scottish, sadly dead, great guy. And I think in the full Members' Cup final, there was 4 Scottish guys playing. Myself, Doug Rugby, Kevin McAllister, I think who else? Oh, Dave Speedy. Sorry, Dave Speedy. He was Scottish but English, if that makes sense. But again, 4 Scottish guys playing in Chelsea's first 11. I can't see that ever happening again, to be quite honest. But that was a great day, the full Members' Cup final, and Crunchie played very, very well. Probably I thought even you can't be man of the match when somebody scores a hat-trick at Wembley, but his performance that day was incredible. Him and Pat Nevin were different class. There was a lot of Scottish lads at the club at the time, so it was easy for everybody to settle in. And Kevin being Kevin, he's really friendly guy, settled in with everyone, really good sense of humour. Again, nobody could really understand him because that Falkirk accent sometimes, that kind of, those wee twangs, you know what I mean? The morrow's morn, just the morrow's morn and stuff. And I was like, tomorrow morning? Tomorrow's morn. Right, okay, tomorrow morning. So there's just loads of wee things, but he did a great impression. He used to take the piss out of everyone, and Ian Porterfield especially. I remember the day he got caught. So we're having a team meeting. So you'd have your pre-match at 12. You'd have a team meeting at 1, and Crunchie always come in, right? So he did his impersonation of Ian Porterfield, who was again sadly dead, manager at the time, and he would come in and he'd a horrible thing of he was like Nadal at tennis for me. He would come in and he would have touch his ear, touch his nose, touch. Nadal scratches his arse, does all these things. Then he serves. Ian Porterfield would come in and he would hands in his pocket, hands round the back of his neck. So Crunchie had this off to a tee. So there's Crunchie giving his team talk, and he didn't know that Ian Porterfield was standing right behind him. It was one of those you had to be there moments. So it was funny, but that's what he was like. He would just take the rip out of everyone in a nice way. And I actually played with him at 3 clubs. So I played with him at Chelsea, played with him at Falkirk, and then I played with him at Hibernian. So he was my agent. He got me the move to Hibs. To be honest, I thought he got better and better as he went on. I just thought he got better everywhere he went. He was just unlucky for me not to get a Scotland cap. Same, I never got one. I was on standby a few times, but I had McLaughlin and Miller in front of me, but he coincidentally had Pat Nevin in front of him, which was kind of weird. But it was just unfortunate that 2 really old-fashioned type wingers, just couldn't get in the same squad, and that can happen to Kevin at Chelsea. He found himself sometimes left out because Pat Nevin was in, which again was quite harsh because there was a toss up between the 2 of them. Similar in many ways, but Kevin was the old-fashioned winger for me. And you don't really see that anymore. You don't see guys who can beat somebody with not just tricks, but he had pace as well, and he had, he did have a lot going for him, and I felt he never really got as many starts at Chelsea as he should have had, just because him and Pat kind of played in the same area, and Paul Carnival, and there was a few other kind of wide area guys. 92. I went back up the road, and it was Jeffries that signed me. And again, based on a lot of things that Crunchie had told him, I think, so I remember he coming down to watch me, and Jim Jeffries and I tried to kind of sort out a deal, but he'd mentioned Crunchie a lot, and that wasn't a major factor, but it was good to know somebody who was already there, and it all started off really well until about the 5th or 6th game when I ruptured my Achilles. managed to get myself fit in the pre-season and came back, went back up, obviously, got promoted that year, which was great, you know, and then we had 2 or 3 really good years in the Premier League with some fantastic results. So yeah, I mean, a great 4 years at Falkirk. Really had a great 4 years. You know, say I can't speak high enough of Crunchie. I still keep in touch with him. Still the worst dressed man ever at the football club. That was. But he thought he was smart, but we always thought, what's the wee man wearing? You know what I mean? But you know, he got his own style. Funniest guy ever. I mean, literally funniest boy ever. If he ever sees this, I don't know if he ever sees this. You know, he'll probably slaughter my clothes more than I'm slaughtering his clothes. You know, but listen, it's hard to get a suit when you're 5'5". You know, it is. I mean, you know, you're 5'5". You're limited in what you can wear. You know what I mean? You certainly can't wear a Prince of Wales 3-piece suit. You know what I mean? So that's his dress sense. That's me just slaughtered him. In fact, when we saw him at a game a few years ago, there was a load of us went to one of the games, and James McGowan, Sam McGivern, all the kind of, you know, Big Crawford Bartlett, all the legends. Sorry, all the legends were there, and then there was me, Scott McKenzie. So they kind of brought in all those, and we ended up having a really good day, you know. And so we've kind of been planning another one of those Saturdays after a game, but we've not got around to it yet. So, so I'm sure it'd be good to get that, you know. I mean, it'd be good to get another good night out with the boys and get all the banter, because that's what you miss, you know. As much as you miss playing and you miss the money, obviously, you know, but you miss the banter, you miss the kind of, you know, just getting in the morning, having a bit of banter, training, keeping fit, you know. But best job ever. Yeah, just really pleased for him. If he's, you know, to get something that's going to be remembered after we're all gone would be huge, you know what I mean? Again, I can't speak high enough of him as a player. You know, he's right up there. Absolutely different class. You know, just loved, good to watch him, because he could go by people and, you know, he could put just that old fashioned type winger, you know what I mean? You love to see him beating people and getting away from people, and quality balls in the box. But no, he deserves having a stand after him is the least. It should be called the Kevin McAllister Stadium.